Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to add discussion points to your Zync show and why this is super important. Let's say I'm creating a new event. I've added a topic here. I'm going to let myself remain as the host. I'm going to skip adding a speaker and I will set a time later. Now, as I'm creating the event, you can see the fifth task that Zinc asks you to do is to add discussion topics or questions that you would be asking your speaker. Now, you could add some test questions here, but if you don't have your questions or discussion points ready yet, that's totally fine. You can always add or edit questions in the Prepare tab. Once you go, but you have to make sure that you do this because the thing to keep in mind is that Zinc uses these discussion topics and questions as input to design the scenes of your show, and this adds to the creativity and dynamicism for your event. So make sure to come into this prepare tab and add the questions and topics that you want to discuss with your speaker. These are default questions and default scenes like an opinion poll, a Q&A scene that are added by Zinc. Make sure to come in here and edit, add, remove questions that you want to discuss with your guest. So clicking on any of these topics will open a modal up where you can see what this would look like in the real event, and you can again edit the question. So I'm going to just write test question and there you go. So this has been edited to test questions. If I wanted to add a poll, I could do that. I could just leave it as the default question. I could add an option and then there you go. So I'd add this new poll right here at the bottom as you can see. Now to see what these scenes would look like, let me launch a rehearsal for my event and I'm going to ask a bot to join me. Don't worry, this is not a real person. I'm just going to use this bot to show you what my scenes would look like. The first scene that Zinc creates for you is a welcome scene. And this scene is not recorded by our platform and it does not go into your content kit. It's not used anywhere. This scene is only for the purposes of allowing you and your speaker to make sure, do a mic check, do a camera check, make sure that everybody's positioned properly, that you can hear each other. So you definitely need to make sure that you move past this screen. And as you can see, all the questions and topics that you've added in the Prepare tab are going to be visible to you in your event timeline right here on the left. And you can also go to your timeline by just clicking on timeline here. In case if it's closed, you can just click on this and your event timeline will open up. Now once you're done testing, mic testing and checking everything and everything looks good and you're ready to start recording your show, you have to make sure that you move on to the next scene. So this right here, I've moved on to a question scene. My question gets anchored here. My speaker can answer the question. And once I'm done, I'm just going to hit done. And that again gives Zinc cues about where you've ended discussing a certain topic. Now, as you'll see, this was a question. I could go to a Q&A scene. A Q&A scene looks a little bit different. And any questions that you ask or your audience members asks will pop up right here. And when I ask, it's going to show up right here for the speaker. So as you can see, each scene looks different and hence it's important for you to go into the prepare tab and make sure that you decide what scenes you want, you remove the scenes you don't want, and edit the scenes as per your conversation. This is a poll that's been that you can add. You can edit the poll, of course. Similarly, there's a word cloud, and then there's a thank you scene where the speaker and the host are placed right next to each other. So, this is just a rehearsal to show you what it looks like. Feel free to launch your own rehearsal to see what your timeline and scenes look like. But the end point really is that you want to make sure that before every event, you go into the prepare tab and add your topics and questions. The other thing to keep in mind is that when you go live and start recording your show, be sure to move past the welcome screen once you're ready to go live and go on record.